Welcome to Jewel and the Crown, Football Brisbane's podcast about women's football. Greg, you almost got a suit on, mate. What's going on?
It's a nice jacket. It's just a nice... I grabbed it out because it's a bit cooler.
No beanie?
No beanie
no jumper,
yet.
just a jacket. You're going for a job interview?
No. If I was in a job interview, I'd wear the full suit and you'd know it. Yeah.
Our special guest has just turned up in a
maroon
jumper,
Yes.
So it must be that kind of night, I suppose.
Yeah, a bit, you know.
You know who our guest is,
I know. Well, let's introduce our guest.
Tegan Riding, welcome to the show.
Hello, how are you?
I'm good. How are
We're
you?
good. It's great to have you on. We've heard lots from you. Peter's been speaking for you, but, you know, it's great to hear the voices of other players and other spectators.
Especially the Red Riding Report.
I
I'm
think
looking
it's,
forward to that this week.
I think it's been the hit.
Because we can interject and ask questions.
We can.
But we won't.
We won't. No, that's Tegan's time. That's Tegan's time in the spotlight.
Yeah, she's got her own music and everything.
Yeah.
Hey, Tegan, how did you get started in footy?
I started when I was 5 in under sixes at South United. I played there until I was about 11, and then I moved over to Annerley.
Oh, no.
Yeah, see?
No.
Her name's on the wall. So, you know, there's a shield with her name on it.
Did she write it on the dressing room wall or something?
We had, around the time
Undefeated for a while.
around the time Tegan was playing, we had many players in representative sides.
Okay.
So we got a shield
I'll
from
give you that, yes.
Brisbane Women's or Brisbane Southern districts, and there's lots of names.
I actually looked up the history, like who won the Premier League going back for the last 20 years, and Annerley appeared on there.
Oh, really?
Do you know who the most successful team in the last 10 years has been?
The Gap.
No. The Gap have only won the league once in the last 10 years.
Right.
Redlands 2 or 3 times.
Okay. But the Gap have won the Cup.
They've won the grand final 3 times, but the actual premiership itself have only won it once in the last 10 years.
Okay. Interesting.
Twice in the last 11 years. But
okay. Well, it's a rolling 10.
Yeah.
Rolling 10.
But yeah, Redlands and East quite successful. Annerley a little while back.
Yeah, I'd imagine so.
Probably when Tegan was there playing in the juniors, they were probably winning, yeah.
Probably. So you played at Annerley for a few years and then...
And then I moved to the Brisbane Rebel League for 2 years before I went over to Redlands with Ray. So I was with Ray there for 3 years before she left.
Oh.
And then, of course, you've been down Adelaide last year in the W League.
Yeah,
so what was that like?
Oh, it was an awesome experience, hey. The coaching down there was amazing. The girls were really cool. It was an awesome experience.
Well, how often did you train?
Every day. We trained 6 days a week, and we had a recovery session or a game. Depends. So pre-season we played 1 recovery session, and then if we had a game, and if you didn't play the full 90 minutes, you still had to do some running, and then you got to do recovery. So
I can remember when you played at Cusack and you won that game against the Raw.
Yep.
Oh, I was cheering for you because you set the goal up, actually.
Yeah, I did.
I remember that. And then you guys did all this work after the game. It's like all these sprints and everything, and I thought, gee,
so if you're a sub, you had to do your extra work on the side of the field. It was pretty embarrassing, but good for
it was just interesting to watch, as a coach, watching what you had to do after the game.
Yeah.
So,
and then you get to do recovery after that, but you still have to get your fitness in.
So are you looking to head back to W League again?
Not really sure yet. Still keeping my options open.
So any thought about overseas? There's a few other players have gone, obviously.
Yeah, not really. I don't know. I haven't really thought about that kind of stuff yet. Still enjoying my football here. So.
It is. I mean, is the competition, is it the competition that you enjoy, or is it the fact that, you know, it's a little less time commitment? What's the best thing about what is it called these days? The SEQPW?
The SEQWPL, but it'll be the NPL next year. And of course, Redlands is an NPL club, so whichever way it goes, Redlands is in that top
I'd imagine
league.
So, yeah.
Yep,
I guess it is not so big of a load, but the girls at Redlands, I guess that's the reason I stayed with Redlands.
Okay.
Good bunch of girls down there, so.
Yeah, definitely. And Ray obviously was a big thing. You went to Redlands because of Ray. Have you heard what Ray's doing these days?
Yeah, she's down at Canberra with the youth girls. So she stayed out there after she did the stint with the Canberra United girls. Mm-hmm. So she still comes up and watches our game when she can or whatever. But yeah.
Okay.
So we still keep in contact with her.
Excellent.
So is she going back to Canberra?
I think so. I think that's her plan when she's down there, just to stay with the Canberra girls.
Because just talking around the traps, because the W League season I think is being brought forward.
Yeah, I think it starts September 6th or something. It's really
to fit in with the
now.
Asian Cup.
Yeah.
So there's a real opportunity for a lot of W League players to play full seasons in their, Brisbane, Sydney, Melbourne competitions, because W League will be finished early.
But it could also mean that some of our players would be...
Miss finals.
Yeah, miss the finals.
Yeah.
That's
true.
that's
terrible. That's they should just sort themselves out to obey our local competition.
They should. What's happening with their local competition? Isn't there some committee?
Speaking of the committee, there was a good point raised last week. Now, let's just ask our esteemed guest, Tegan, what do you know about the Elite Women's Committee?
I've never heard of the committee.
Okay, fair enough. That's part of the point. Last week, around the traps, it was advertised on the washing line by our silent producer, and there was a comment: "There's no player representative on the Elite Women's Committee," and that's true.
Because there's reps from Football Brisbane,
Mhm.
Football Queensland,
Yes,
and the Raw.
the Raw. Now, the Raw, it was argued, is Pam Bignell the Raw representative, a player representative? Well, she's there representing the Raw.
So she's not representing the clubs that are currently, as a player,
No,
playing in the
So
top couple of leagues in Brisbane.
Now, we don't know anything about the terms of reference or how people can get in touch to the committee if they want to raise their things. But if we do find out, we'll advertise it here on this space, and so you can submit. And so when we find out, but it is interesting that there is no player representative. And I mean, part of the problem with NPL was the players didn't go to NPL clubs
That's
this
true.
year.
Yeah.
So why not talk to the players?
And find out what the
Why?
story was.
Anyway,
But from talking around to clubs, coaches and players, the biggest issue that they've got is not the makeup of the competition so much, but the fact that we know what it is early enough to be organised for next year.
It needs to be sorted now.
Because I think that the top players will play in the top league, whatever that is, next year.
But there's, anyway, that's something, player representative, and when we will let you know when we can, how you can talk to the committee.
And speaking of top leagues, results from SEQ, WPL.
Yes.
So first game up, Mitchelton lost 3-0 to Olympic. Now, no great surprise. Olympic are in the top half and Mitchie are in the bottom half from that point of view. I do keep picking Mitchie because they're going to win one eventually. Right?
You'd hope so.
Yeah, well, you'd think with
actually,
the quality.
since certain events earlier in the season, what has been the record at Mitchie?
I think they beat Pride.
Oh, okay.
But Pride had 9, I think. So they got a.
That's right. And Pride did score a goal then too.
Yeah, it was fairly close for a while. So I don't know. I'm not down there at training. I see some of the games, but
fair enough.
Anyway.
So have you played both these teams, Tegan, Olympic and Mitchelton?
Yeah, don't ask her about playing Mitchie.
We played Mitchie. We beat them 10-0.
Oh, that's right. You scored 5 or something in the game. Yeah. It was a great start to the season for you.
Yeah, too quick apparently.
Yeah. But what about Olympic? That was a close game, wasn't it?
Yeah, I think it was 2-1 or 2-0.
3-1 or something. Yeah.
Yeah, it wasn't much in it.
Yeah. It was pretty
but they scored against you.
Yeah, they did, I think. Yeah. That was that when the light. Oh no, that was Ennerley when the lights went out.
Yeah, it's hard to separate the two teams, but they are different.
So goals to Olympic were Jessica McLean got 2 and Leah Miles got 1.
Yes. So good that Jess McLean's still scoring. I had a look at Olympics goal scorers. Now, their leading goal scorer is Liz Doherty, and she's got 9 goals from 11. But lacking, I mean, that's a goal-a-game striker they don't have yet, whereas nearly all the other teams in the top half do.
I think it was you that said at the beginning of the year, Olympic were really just missing a striker. If they could have signed someone like Tegan... they would have been right on top, I reckon.
I think so, yeah.
I did go down to Olympic before I signed with Redlands.
Oh, did you?
Yeah.
And what did Redlands offer that surpassed Olympic?
Just a good bunch of girls.
Ah, fair enough. You can't argue with that.
No, that's right.
No. So that's that game.
That was that game. Now, the next game, UQ, I don't know whether you'd call this an upset or not, but UQ beat Eastern Suburbs 2-1.
It's a big result. I mean, on the table, it's not an upset, but Easts are always a good side. I think we were all tipping Easts. I think I tipped a draw, maybe. Anyway.
Yeah.
I think I
tipped UQ, actually.
Oh, did you? Well, you've got it right. And UQ have won this 2-1. 2 goals to Greta Bodie.
Yeah, in the 6 minutes, so a really early goal, and then 70 minutes to score the winner.
Yeah. And a goal to Rebecca King for East in the 54th, and a yellow card to Laura Harris.
Yeah, now, Jeff Herford said words like frustrating, inconsistent, out-enthused, lack of concentration, not sharp enough, gave the winner away, didn't create enough, Uni worked hard, first great goal, quick wingers, played for 90 minutes, created chances. They wanted it more, got the 3 points.
He said words like that, did he?
Yeah, unquote.
Yeah, well, we were lucky enough that Otter did send the goals in a highlights package. Now, they're from a fair distance. It's a bit hard to see, but the first goal did look pretty special. The cross came in and then it was in the back of the net somehow. Yeah. So, yeah.
And they did have a goal disallowed as well.
Apparently, yeah.
Yeah, Matsusaki, apparently. And you've seen I play. She's only a really slender girl. So she's not big and strong.
Like Tegan is that what you're saying?
Yeah.
Yeah, what was that comment last week?
Yeah. What was that about?
Which one? Which comment?
I don't look as fast as I am. What
Yeah.
does that mean?
Because you don't look like there's any effort when you run, but you're actually sprinting so fast. But when you look at you, you're just like cruising along, and you think actually you're still pulling away from defenders. So as against someone that's is like really busting their boiler
out,
to get away.
Yeah. Mm.
So it's just
Ease of movement.
So to get out of it.
Yeah, that's a bit better.
Do you want to hear what else Otter had to say?
Yeah, sure.
Okay,
I did read it, but
Otter's couch comments. So he said it was an entertaining game, a good win. UQ were dominant in patches, East were dominant in patches, and the difference was East were dominant in the middle of the park, but didn't put UQ under enough pressure at the back.
Mm-hmm.
So again, if you've got a lot of possession in your middle third or your back third, you're not going to score.
No.
So we talked about the goals. He said I did score, but putting the keeper under pressure, but it got disallowed for rough conduct or something. So
yeah you have to. Yeah.
Yeah. So anyway, that's the way it goes. A half-time 1-0. East managed to draw the keeper out of the area through a defensive error. So again, defensive errors causing problems. And eventually we all realised that UQ got the winner. But what interesting about he said that Shannon Boy's tracker had her running 11.79 kilometres in the game.
That's amazing.
48 sprints.
Now,
so that was the hardest game of the year, her tracker said.
I've been watching the World Cup like nearly everyone has, and when the players come off, it says so and so's run 6Ks or 7Ks, so 11Ks is a lot of ground to cover.
Yeah, our midfield is expected to run about 10Ks.
Well,
did you get that type of stuff at Adelaide?
Yeah, they did do GPS stuff with us in like pre-season games, but we never got to see any results.
Oh, really?
We did all like skin folds and weights and every 3 to 4 weeks, but yeah, we didn't see any results.
That seems a little foolish to not share that with the player. Like if you're not running enough, why not show you the numbers that says you're only running 9Ks?
You should be running 10. Yeah. But typically midfielders are going to run at that level about 10 kilometres. Well, so she's doing a little bit more.
Yes.
And I think last year when Otter was on and he was sharing some of that information with us, she was one of those players that was right at the top.
Yeah.
Really works hard.
Yeah.
So anyway, and UQ are still pinching themselves. They can't believe where they are on the ladder.
Did you expect UQ to be up where they are now?
No way. When we kind of went in with a different mentality than what we should have into the game.
That's right. You drew. Oh no, they
beat us.
Yeah.
Yeah. We their field wasn't very good, but they did beat us. They did come out attacking, and they came to win. So we went down.
That seems to be the story that's coming through.
I think that's it. I think UQ is still. Well, even when we talk about UQ, or maybe not you, but we think that UQ, they're new. Eventually they'll fall over or something like that. But no, they seem to be the real deal.
Very different team to what it has been, though.
Yeah.
Been really good together.
And when we had David in, he did talk that their coach had really got them going.
Yeah.
That even though Otter did a great job with them in that Sapphire League, they're just that step up and just a different bit of organisation. And having Matsusaki in there.
Oh, yeah.
And the keeper's really good.
It's Chapman.
Yeah. So, good.
Souths took on Annerley and it ended in a 2-2 draw. Souths were 1-0 up at half-time. Goals to Jade Saunders and Katie Lawson from Souths. Annerley for Alice Foster and Jenny Leononen. We should ask Gervais how to say Jenny's name. Sorry, Jenny. Jenny from Finland.
I know
it's Jenny. We don't know how to say her last name. Don't know much else about the game.
Well, I did have some comments from Wayne Hammond, the coach of Souths.
Good.
Who did say that they had the better of the first half and probably threw the game away a little bit. But Annerley started to get on top of them, and then in the second half it was pretty much all Annerley over the top of Souths.
Mm-hmm.
He said they thought they'd thrown it away, but they managed to get an equaliser late.
Right.
And hit the crossbar with the last kick of the game.
Ooh,
so
exciting.
Souths, could have stolen it right at the death. And he did say special mention to Kate Lawson was the best player in midfield for them.
Okay.
So, well done,
excellent.
Kate.
Big result for me. None of us tipped this. Sunny Coast 0, Thunder 3. Don't know who scored.
One of us tipped this.
You did not, did you?
Yeah.
No way.
Yeah. Oh, if I didn't, I'm saying I did.
We'll get someone to look that up. I know, but
South West Queensland all year saying they're a good side.
a good side. But you can imagine that trip down the range is a long trip, and I remember saying last week if it was played at Thunder, I'd be tipping Thunder.
Yes, you did say that.
So to get 3-0 on such a journey is a big result, and this is Thunder is the only team to take points from top half teams. They've done it twice now. They've beaten Sunny Coast and they've drawn Easts, and they play you guys, do they?
Yeah, we got them, and then in the cup game, so we got them the next two times.
You did that with pride too, so
yes, I know.
lucky you.
I don't think you'll get those scores against South West Queensland. They're a good side. They're good young players.
Well, yeah, obviously with a bit of consistency. I don't know who played or anything like that, but we talked to Karen a few weeks back and she said Ebony Kidd was out injured. Maybe she's come back.
Who knows? Yeah, it's all. But Dave Binstead, the coach of Sunny Coast, did say that it was impressive by South West Queensland.
Okay.
And he said the first 20 minutes was even, and after that it was basically all South West Queensland.
Right. Okay.
And 2 late goals. So two of the goals, were late. And he said, and his comment was they actually put a realistic scoreline on the match.
Oh, right. Okay.
So
hopefully that's Abby Lloyd again. It'd be interesting to see. They always seem to come up with a couple of good strikers. Toowoomba or Raiders for the last few years.
Cold up there.
Got to keep moving.
Got to keep moving.
Fair enough. Is that why
you're going up there and win
that? We got a cup game up there.
Not very good.
Oh, maybe. Frozen.
Yeah. Anyway, so that's a big win for Thunder.
Yeah, some missed opportunities from Thunder. They could have been up a little bit higher.
Possibly.
But that's the way it goes.
Yeah.
Pride in the Gap.
Interesting game. The Gap won in a big way in the end, but it was 2-1 to the Gap at half-time.
And according to Lorena, Pride were in front after 30 minutes.
Well, there you go.
So it was fairly tight.
Yeah.
Ruth Blackburn got sent off by the Gap 5 minutes into the second half.
5 minutes into the second half.
So it might have been a little bit tense the start of the second half.
Definitely.
Don't know.
Did you hear anything around the traps about this game?
No, I haven't heard much about it.
You and the Gap don't get on, huh?
No. They're our rival.
Fair enough. Yeah, so that's the second red card
You
for
should
Ruth
ask
Blackburn.
Holly House. She's got mates at the Gap.
Yeah, she does. So does Kimmy Hart.
Okay, yeah.
A girl called Nikki, not sure of her last name, scored for Pride. It was the first game for Pride. It's an ex-Ipswich City girl.
Okay.
So, I'm not sure whether she's borrowed or signed, but...
That explains why she's not in the team sheet.
Yeah. So
now, speaking of the team sheet, that Sporting Pulse system, it annoyed me that we've had to go on. I mean, not that we, it's not bad that we have to ask Lorena things. It's nice, but we should be able to look online.
She's very helpful
to tell when that red card was.
But we can't.
It's not the Gap's fault. It's not Western's Pride fault. The system won't let us find out when all these things were. And compared to the last system, which was now 3 years old or whatever, rant over.
So anyway, the Gap, Gabrielle Marzona scored a hat-trick, so she's in the goals again.
Yep.
And
lots of other goals.
Yep, lots of goals.
Palm Beach, Thrash, Power, whatever.
But Harriet Withers scored 5.
Yes.
So that's, I think Tegan's got a 5 haul. Brett Whitfield's got a 5 haul.
Matsusaki scored 5.
I don't think she scored 5 in one game, did she? Maybe
Against
she
Pride?
did.
Maybe.
And now Harriet Withers.
Yeah. Okay.
So, interesting.
And the last game, lucky last, Taringa took on Redlands United. Let's hear from the Red Riding Report.
This week's game against Taringa was a low-scoring result, with Redlands winning 2-1, which was a contrast to the high scores in the previous 2 games. This week saw the return of some team members, but the loss of others due to work commitments. Redlands dominated possession throughout the game, and were pleased that our passing and general control of the ball had improved over previous games. Redlands opened the scorer in the 35th minute with Holly, putting the ball in the net after a series of pass moves that started near our own goals. Half-time was 1-0. Redlands scored the next goal in the 78th minute with a header from Kimmy Hart. Taringa scored in the closing minutes, so the 88th minute of the game, after a breakaway on a corner. Redlands missed a number of goal-scoring opportunities, but it was difficult to get a clean shot on goal with a number of opposing players in and around the box. Redlands played a tighter game overall, with the second half of the game being played more in the midfield and forward line rather than in our backs, where we put ourselves under a little bit of pressure in the first half. Taringa's keeper regularly did long kicks rather than short balls. Taringa displayed an improved performance over previous seasons. Credit goes to Calvin for his coaching strategy and to push a defensive game. The game had a few interruptions and penalties, so it flowed quite well in cold conditions.
Excellent.
How was the ref?
Yeah, it was good.
Okay.
Didn't pull much up, just played on really.
Jessica Card
Card, yeah.
scored
I
for Taringa. Now, I wanted to ask you, because I've watched Taringa set up against some of the better sides, and they with that defensive like 5-person
I
back
think we had
line,
about
and
6 from the
it's like a
back line.
pyramid. Yeah, right.
It's very difficult
But
to break
did
down.
did Kelvin have someone man mark you?
Yeah, I had a girl on me, and I don't mean to embarrass her, but she followed me, and if I did a circle, she'd do a circle, and then I'd run away from the ball, and she'd follow me away from the ball.
But
so
you didn't score.
yeah, I didn't score, no.
Yeah.
Job done.
Yeah, no, and that's
Yeah.
exactly what you want someone that's man marking you to do, to actually follow you everywhere.
I don't think she enjoyed her game very well, though.
Well, maybe not. But
Following me around the opposite side of the field.
But yeah, she does it. He did that against the Gap as
Yeah.
well,
Yep.
to keep them quiet for a long time. And it's a legitimate tactic to put a man
2-1.
marker
If,
on.
you know, maybe 2-1 is a close scoreline. If without the report, we would have said, "Oh, that's a close game." Now Tegan's saying, you know, Redlands comfortably, but the scoreline.
Yeah, Danny did really well in goals as well. She
Okay.
did
Yeah,
save a
he's-
lot of goals.
yeah.
We hit the crossbar a few times as well, so that didn't help us.
That happens. Yeah.
But Taringa are just,
Keeping
even though
teams
they're
honest.
not winning, they're keeping teams honest, and they are getting their own type of momentum
Yeah.
going forward.
Getting some players back. I noticed Casey Frederickson seems to be back for Taringa, and Rachel Oates also. Now, she used to be a goalkeeper, so she must be playing on the field, I imagine.
Yeah, possibly.
Anyway, so Taringa, Redlands keep winning, which brings the table to this. Go for it, Pete.
The Gap are on top on 33.
Mm-hmm.
Palm Beach on 31. UQ on 30. Redlands in fourth, hanging on.
With a game in hand.
With a game in hand, yeah. So we know that one. I'm going to ask you about that in a minute. East also on 25. So, and then Olympic on 24. So they're right behind them. So that's your top 6. And then Sunny Coast Fire on 18 points are making up that top 7. So they're probably going to have a tough run in the second half
Yeah.
because the other 6 are just getting away from them.
Yeah.
Then
And that can't change. That's the top 7. That's
it.
fit.
It's
That's
done.
it.
Even with a round and a catch-up game to go. Power on 12 points in 8th place, followed by Mitchelton also on 12, Southwest Queensland on 11, Annerley on 10, Souths on 7, Taringa on 4, and Western Pride with 0. But I think that will change in the second half of the season.
Well, yeah, they just need to get players.
Uh,
That helps.
Now, I was thinking about the Golden Boot.
Right.
I think the Golden Boot's got to finish after this weekend
Why is that?
because you can't go into the second half with a different
Well,
teams
yeah, but-
playing. I think you have to have a different Golden Boot in the second half.
Oh,
Does
really?
it not
So you
split?
have one for the first 13 rounds because the top half only play each other and the bottom half only play each other. So, and Britt Whitfield sitting on top with 20 goals.
Harriet Withers, I thought, was on 22. No. No.
Harriet's now up to 16. Lauren Brown from Palm Beach is on 17. So Palm Beach have got 2 players in
Yeah.
the top 5. And Leah Curtis on 15 and, of course, Tegan on 15 as well.
So it's tied.
Yeah, so I think after 13 games, then that's it. You sort of draw a line under it and you start again.
So is that what you're doing?
That's what I would do.
Okay. Well, I'll.
That's what I'm going to do
Okay.
next.
Okay. We'll do that.
Yeah,
We'll do that.
I think you have
It's
two
going to be
different.
hard to do, but we'll do it
I'm not sure how. I think they're going to set it up again in the.
in the system. That
Whatever
wonderful
that
system
thing's
that doesn't
called.
do the red cards sometimes.
Yeah.
Um,
The Elaine Watson Cup draw is out. Now, you
Yeah.
can get onto the washing line. I'm not sure if it's up there yet, but Football Brisbane, all the games are on 27th and
or
28th of June. So one on Friday night, which will be East at home. And then on Saturday evening, the rest of the games are on. And, of course, Tegan, you're on your way up north. Oh,
Yes.
west.
Yeah.
Up
West
the
and up.
range. Brr, it's going to be
So
cold.
that'll be,
Yeah.
yeah.
It'd be a bit special.
We saw some pictures of Taringa playing up there with the fog.
Yeah.
It was pretty hard to see. So I don't know
It's
whether
always
it's foggy
cold
up
up
there.
there.
Yeah. But you get to run around, score some goals.
Hopefully.
And if someone's marking you again, you get to keep 2 people warm.
Do some circles.
That's right. So the games this weekend, though, Peter.
Friday night, 8:30, Eastern Suburbs play Taringa.
Yeah, must win for East to keep close with
Oh,
the
I
top.
think East will win.
I think East will win, but again, if it's 2-1, 3-1, and from those wonderful quotes of Jeff, he doesn't seem that happy, does he?
Well, remember the South coach was angry a few weeks ago and it didn't quite
well, this
work
doesn't
for
sound.
half.
It doesn't sound like angry. This sounded like disappointment.
Yeah. Actually, we didn't
And
mention
how can you be disappointed as a coach with your players because you coach them?
what there was a bit of Otter's report that we didn't mention, where he, Otter's
Oh,
always,
yeah.
he's saying stuff about East, and he said there was a bit of niggle.
East
He said
niggle.
the East niggle. Yeah, he mentioned it. He said UQ don't have niggle.
No, of course
No,
not.
of course not, Otter. They're just rough. He said they're a bit physical.
Physical.
That means
mm.
rough.
Yeah.
So it's, I don't know.
No,
But anyway, I don't think East will need a niggle against Taringa.
I don't think they will, but maybe they will actually. If Taringa hold them for 70 minutes or something, anything
maybe.
can happen.
I'm going for East.
I'm going for East,
Team?
Yeah, East.
but okay, makes it easy.
Saturday, Walton Bridge Oval.
Big
The Gap.
game, big game,
The Gap hosting UQ.
huge game. If the UQ win this, if UQ win this, they actually go to equal on points with the Gap on top of the table. Now, Gap have a far superior goal difference, so that's neither here nor there, but that could happen.
Yeah. They could both be top or they could both be second. I think UQ will win this game.
Yeah, I think UQ will win it.
No, I'm going to go Gap.
No, I'm not writing UQ off. I've been writing off the Gap all year, and now
Well, Ruth Blackburn got herself sent off last week, so
Yeah.
that's an automatic week.
Yeah,
At
and
least.
Leah's away. Leah's away in the World
Leah
Cup.
Curtis,
Yeah.
okay, yeah,
So that's two of their central three. Yep.
and possibly a few more, we reckon.
Yeah, so maybe some more players have gone to the World Cup.
Yeah.
Anyone
Things
from
are hot
Redlands
now.
going to the World Cup? I've already
No.
asked that.
Yeah, none of us are
No,
going over.
You're not on the big bucks that the other clubs are on?
Not quite.
fair enough. No, I think this is UQ, and they're going to go in fearless. They've beaten East now,
And they've beaten Redlands.
and they've beaten Redlands. Yeah, actually, this is the other prime scalp of the established clubs
And they took it to Palm Beach as well, even though
That's
they
right.
didn't win.
for a bit. Yeah. Yep, I'm tipping UQ.
Okay, Saturday at 7, Clive Berghofer Stadium, Southwest Queensland Thunder are hosting South United.
Okay, I wrote East. I was silly. Well, I'm tipping Thunder. Yeah.
We're just talking. Okay.
Yeah, I wrote East down. Anyway, so I'm tipping Thunder to this one against South.
Me too, yeah.
Yeah, and that could put Thunder into 8th spot.
Yeah, they're creeping up the ladder.
Yeah, it's tied at those from 8th to
So it's no good pointing when you're on the radio, Greg,
look,
because no one
8th
knows.
to 12th. There's 2 points.
That's true. It's good, nice and tight.
Yep.
Good competition.
Uh,
Tegan?
Yeah, I'll go Thunder.
Thunder. Yep. Power take on Western Pride. I think Power will win it, but Western Pride just all over the place. I really don't know. Being in front against the Gap.
I was going to make a silly comment about being in the SCQ League, and they are all over the place because they're at Palm Beach, Sunny Coast, Toowoomba.
That is silly.
Yeah,
I'm still tipping Power.
Yeah, I'll go Power too.
I think Power as well.
Okay. So that was at 7:15 on Saturday night.
On
On
Sun-
Sunday,
Yeah, 2 p.m. Cleveland Showgrounds. Redlands hosting Sunny Coast Fire.
what do you reckon?
Redlands.
You reckon? Redlands?
You reckon Redlands?
Hope so.
You sure? Oh, you hope so. You're not confident.
Any team news for the weekend? People at work? We know no one's going to the World Cup. You said that.
Yeah, I don't know who we have actually.
So you say people sometimes miss games for work. What do they do?
A few of our girls work in customs.
Oh,
So
right.
they're 3 weeks on, a week off or whatever. So
Oh, okay.
they're in and out.
Oh.
And they change all the time, so we don't know when they're coming
That's-
back. And
yeah, that's
it's hard.
very hard. Yeah.
I'm going to go with Red Riding Report and Tegan.
Okay, yeah, I think Redlands will win. Yeah. Annalee take on Mitchie at 2 o'clock on Sunday. Now, this is not at Elder Oval. This is at Goodwin Park.
This is true.
So
The first of the doubleheader.
The first of the doubleheader at Goodwin Park. So Annalee take on Mitchie. I think Annalee will win this one and jump over Mitchie on the table.
I think Annalee are going into this game with a lot of momentum. And Mitchie are going into this game with a lot of, what do you have it?
Reverse momentum.
Yeah, they're going the other way.
Yes.
So, but the playing group, if you look at the squads, you would pick Mitchelton.
You would. You should.
But on momentum, you'd pick Annalee.
Yes.
So maybe it'll be a 3-all draw.
yeah, I'm going to get Annalee.
Yeah, I'm going Annalee too.
See?
Yeah. And the last game at 4 p.m. on Sunday at Olympic. Olympic take on Palm Beach. A big, important game. Very important game.
I think Palm Beach will win this. They'll want to be top of the table.
I think Olympic's the best defence in the league. It is. And
And Palm Beach, have they got the best attack in the league?
just.
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 But it's up there. It's right
No,
up there.
it is. They've scored a few more goals than the Gap. The Gap are closing it in, but Palm Beach have scored the most. So yeah, it's going to be a big matchup. But of course, both NPL sides both come through the NPL system. A lot of Olympics players have come through that setup. Obviously, Palm Beach that has happened too.
Tegan came through that.
Obviously,
system?
yeah.
Well, it used to be called Rebel.
Yeah, the
Yeah.
Rebel League. Yeah.
Which club was that when you were with Rebel? Who was that?
It was Brisbane Blue and Brisbane Silver.
Oh,
what it was
that's gone
called.
back away.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then it was like you'd verse Sunshine Coast and like Lismore.
Yeah.
okay.
That was like the very
Proper
first
Yeah,
Rebel.
yeah. We were the first year that went through.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. So things are still changing and nothing's the same. Well,
Yeah. But that system that you learnt through that process of going, see, Ray would have been very familiar with that, I imagine. Did
I'm
you
not
play a
sure.
similar style when you got to Redlands?
No, we played it. We played 2 up front. We played 3 up front at Brisbane League. It's just a different formation. So I don't know. I don't think Ray had much to do with the Rebel League.
But they teach that 4-3-3
Yeah, yeah,
as
yeah.
the development league so that you can transition to different patterns
Yeah, yeah.
easily.
Yep.
Anyway,
yeah.
I'm
I'm
going-
tipping Olympic.
I'm going Palm Beach.
Yeah, I go Palm Beach.
Now, we've almost reached the end.
Mm.
There's a couple of catch-up games.
Yes.
So you said before you got to play Thunder. Do you know when that game's on?
No, I don't know. I don't think it's been scheduled yet.
Okay.
Yeah, it's not on the washing line as being scheduled.
Yeah.
I'm not sure. The other catch-up game is Sunny Coast playing Olympic, which is scheduled for Sunday the 29th of June
But this is what I was telling you before. Sunny Coast have a cup game on that weekend.
on the Saturday.
Yeah.
It's scheduled for Saturday. So I don't know whether they're playing 2 games in the weekend.
They're young. They could stay down in Brisbane for the overnight.
Well, then they'd miss their
no,
game at
'cause
Sunny Coast
Yeah. Okay.
when Olympic went up there.
Yeah.
So I'm not sure whether that's maybe the game is scheduled.
It's
I
not
don't know.
essential to be for the split. The split is decided regardless of the outcome of that game. So maybe they might push it back to the next available spare weekend.
Yeah, because they still need to play those because you keep your points.
Yeah. You still need to play.
So now the World Cup's on, as we know.
Yes.
And last week I said, who do you think would win?
Yeah.
Who did you say?
I said Portugal. I said Ronaldo was great. And look what happens. I've got commentator's curse.
Yep. And then
Redlands
I said,
will win this weekend. Woo.
and I said I thought that it would be Brazil and Argentina playing the final, and
Yeah.
you said that could that happen?
Yes.
And I looked it up, and it can if they both finish first or they both finish second.
Right.
But if one finishes first, one finishes second, they end up on the same side of the draw.
Okay.
So I think both will finish top of their group anyway.
It's possible. Yes.
So that's now Tegan. What's your tip for the World Cup?
I want Germany to win.
Germany to win, huh?
Yeah.
How come?
We went over to Germany for the Women's World Cup just to watch with a supporters Queensland group. And just, I don't know, it's a good
It's
atmosphere
adopted
over there.
home. Yeah, fair enough.
Nothing to do with the beer halls, and,
Not quite.
but just a little.
Yeah, maybe.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
Well, I was, we don't need to talk about the World Cup. I could-
No. It's
yeah.
just.
But
It's
of
on,
course,
it's happening.
2 a.m. tomorrow morning, the Socceroos play the Netherlands. So set your alarms, people.
And this is obviously the Men's World Cup because the Women's World Cup is on next year, early next year
Yes.
in Canada.
Canada.
So good place to go.
Canada.
Someone had to say it.
Yes. I think that's
Tegan, thank you very much
thank
for
you very
coming
much
in.
for coming.
No worries,
We
thank you.
hope to hear from more Red Riding reports throughout the season. That'll be great.
Now
Yep.
that I know how to read them out,
Yes.
I'll watch the
The
expert.
emphasis was a
Yeah.
bit different. Yeah, I like that. Yeah, so thank you.
No
And
worries.
that's it, I think.
Yeah, thanks for listening.